The grid ranking, as you guys were talking about, Jorge Martin had a costly error, and that has eliminated him from the grid ranking world championship. His score has dropped to 13.79, and he cannot overtake Alex Palou. This leaves Pecco Bagnaia in a must-win situation to overtake the IndyCar champion, Alex Palou. Brody Kostecki is also in a must-win situation with only 4 supercars races left in the year. However, if Max Verstappen wins 2 more Grand Prix races, he will clinch the grid ranking world championship. Ben, Isha, Max Verstappen is trying to win his 3rd United States Grand Prix this next weekend, joining Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton. Also, he would join Carlos Reutemann and Gilles Villeneuve and Alan Jones to win 2 races in the U.S. in the same F1 season. Reutemann and Villeneuve won Long Beach and Watkins Glen. Jones won Long Beach and the Caesar Palace Grand Prix. So, Isha, let's start with you. Is it safe to assume he becomes the 3rd driver to win the U.S. Grand Prix in a row, 4th to win 2 American races in the same season, and positions himself as the first F1 driver to win all 3 with Las Vegas next month?
Alex, I think it's very, very likely. I think it's safe to assume that all of that is going to happen. It's funny because on every show where we're covering Formula One, we always talk about Max Verstappen and, a new record that he could set or, another record that he could match. And it's like the same with this one, as we're saying, he could become the 3rd driver to win 3 US Grand Prix in a row and, all the other things that you mentioned. But I mean, Max Verstappen, we already know what kind of a performance to expect from him and what we're going to see at the Grand Prix. But what I'm interested in is seeing who else is going to be on the podium up there because in the recent races, we've seen a close battle between some of the teams, for example, like Ferrari and McLaren. So I know this is going a little off track with your question, but I'm just really excited to see what's going to happen next weekend. And I feel like with every race that gets closer to the end of the season, it's going to be a tighter and tighter battle for those second and third place positions.
Yeah, Carlos Reutemann. That's not a name that I would have expected to be in the same group there with Alan Jones and Jules Villeneuve as drivers that have won 2 races in this country over the same season here. And I guess Max Verstappen's got a chance to make it 3, like we were mentioning. I think it's safe to assume at this point, and maybe Singapore is the warning against this because it does happen. They do have the occasional off race here or there, but I think Singapore has really become Max Verstappen's Achilles heel. We were talking about that a couple of weeks ago on this show. I think it's safe to assume for the foreseeable future, at least through the end of this year, that Max Verstappen is just going to continue to win everything. I think the Red Bull is just so far ahead of everybody that if I had to make a pick right now for both COTA and Las Vegas, I'm going to go with Max Verstappen. I don't see anything stopping him in that regard. And of course, the grid ranking is, I think, just like the actual World Championship in Formula One. I think it's a matter of when, not if. We're talking about all these scenarios, and well, if this situation happens, then this driver still has a mathematical chance, and their score could increase. If Verstappen's goes down by this, it's not going to happen. Max Verstappen, he might not win out the rest of the season, but he's going to be the 2023 grid ranking champion at some point. We're going to be saying those words on this show.
And now let's take a look at the rest of the grid ranking. Kyle Larson, today's NASCAR winner, moved from 25th to 21st. Denny Hamlin dropped from 19th to 20th, now behind Pato O'Ward. William Byron is in 12th place and still could make it into the top 10. Byron is the highest American in the grid ranking, and every year since 2017, at least one American has made the top 10. Joseph Newgarden was the only American in the top 10 last year. NASCAR has just 3 races remaining in their season. Formula One and MotoGP have 5 more races. Supercars and the World Rallycross Championship both have 2 more races. So the season is winding down very quickly for the 2023 grid ranking. Friendly reminder to mark your calendar for the 2024 grid ranking. Week 1 is released on April 7th of 2024. We have a comment from Adam in the chat. Las Vegas is going to be a wild card race in F1. Max Verstappen will not win that GP, says Adam. That is a bold statement. I would like to see that. I don't think that will happen, though. We'll see. But make sure.
They said the same thing about Miami last year, and look what's happening in the last 2 seasons. I don't see it happening.